Hey YouTube, I'm going to show you guys something that may help you a lot if you're trying to become electrical independent. I'm doing this video as a response to something I saw. These people who were saying, oh, the evils of these smart meters and blah blah blah. So we've got to get out of using these smart meters. Electric companies are forcing on us, blah blah blah. And all the health effects. Let me show you how you can free yourself from that. I'm going to point out some things that you can get started with that don't cost a fortune, and by the time you grow all this, you won't even have an electric bill to pay, or not much of one. I myself did this. I don't have all the equipment that I used to have, but I still have my startup equipment and a little bit more. So I'm going to show you. If you've ever wanted to get into solar power, now is the time to start looking into it, because it's getting cheaper and cheaper all the time. I've got a basic setup here that I'll show you what it is and how it works, and how you can get started. So first I'll show you the indoor components, because it's dark outside right now, and I can't show you the outdoor components yet. So here we go. Okay, the first two things you're going to need, you'll have to excuse the flicker. I've got a very crappy LED bulb in there that's about to be yanked out and replaced, but it should suffice to get us through this. The first thing you're going to need to buy, before you buy anything else, is you're going to have to go up to some place like Wally World or Harbor Freight and get you one of these. Not the charge controllers, that's the second thing. The first thing, because you're going to want 120 volts off of whatever you run, go get you a good inverter. This one I've actually been surprised with. They haven't revised it to the point that the corners have been fully cut yet, and it actually works above its rating. So the first thing you're going to want to run with any setup is going to be lights, and to do that you're going to need an inverter, unless you're going 12 volts. Another alternative, they're kind of dinky, but they draw very little power when not loaded up, and they're a quick way to get going, and they're not expensive. This is about maybe 20 bucks, somewhere in that neighborhood. This one does 75 watts, which with LED bulbs is more than enough. It'll even run quite a few compact fluorescents. That's the first thing, and I'll show you the second thing. Let me go down in here, because I'm putting all this together and it's all still in its infancy. Let me open this up. You're going to want to go get a deep cycle battery. Walmart also sells these. They aren't the best. That one there happens to be a Superstar. It's a step above what you get at Walmart. Get the 115 amp hour, the larger of the two that they sell if you get them at Wally World. Or just get you a Superstart. Any O'Reilly would have it, or AutoZone. But that's important. Deep cycle. Don't get anything but a deep cycle, or you're going to be sorry after about 20 or 30 charges. So that is the heart of your system right there. And the more amp hours you get on that deep cycle, the longer it will run, but the converse is the longer it'll take to charge, unless you have a very large solar array. And I'll get on to the second part. The other thing you're going to need to get, and you can get this at Harbor Freight or Fry's. Fry's is where I got this one. Get you a good solar charge controller. You don't have to start with this one. This is a 30 amp. This was the biggest one I had. I actually had two of these linked up to two different battery banks, but lost a lot of things when I had to abandon my home. So but that's what controls the charge going to your battery. I'll show you a very simple one that doesn't cost a lot of money. You can get it for probably in the neighborhood of 30 bucks. Sorry about that. Here it is. This is a smaller charge controller. It's super cheap. Yeah, I know it ain't the best, but we aren't all made of money, and I have had better. But this, for the layman getting started, if you just want to get up and running fast, this does 7 amps. So you can take a single 80 to 100 watt. I don't know if I go above that. I think it's rated for 105 watts maximum. But Just take this in a single panel and you're all set. This has a set of wires below it. One set goes to your panel, one goes to your battery, and they're labeled, and the cables show the polarity. You put the solar panel on this, you put this on your battery is charging. Don't get a huge battery if you're going to run this, you know, in a single panel. Maybe start with a, you could get a 115, but it's going to take a while to charge at 4 to 7 amps. So what you may want to do is get like a 50 amp hour or a little bit bigger. They make a smaller deep cycle that you can get at Walmart and other places. Don't use lawn and garden batteries, they aren't deep cycle. The other alternative would be to get a lot of those deer feeder batteries, those little 7 amp hour gel cells like they use in UPSs. You can take a few of those and gang them up. Let's see, 7 amp hours, 8 amp hours. If you put 7 of those together, or even fewer, you should be able to get away with a pretty quick charge. Just remember, the bigger your battery, the more power you have to charge it in a set amount of time. Because basically, instead of putting, let me analyze it this way. A 5-gallon bucket versus a 55-gallon drum. If you're running a little faucet at a trickle, which is going to fill up faster? And that's the analogy to the battery. The bigger your battery, basically the bigger your barrel, your storage drum. That 55-gallon drum, yeah, you could fill it up. It's going to take you a long time, so you want more array. So just start out small, you know, get like an 80-watt solar panel. You can get them all day long for less than $200. Get you an inexpensive charge controller. This is about $30 Harbor Freight. $30 at Fry's. Everybody sells this thing. You can find it in a lot of places. And then get you a inexpensive inverter. The first inverter I ever had, it wasn't this one. It was 150 watts, but this would have worked for what I was doing. I was just running lights. When I began, I was just running lights, and you don't need a humongous inverter to run lights. LED lights give you the equivalent of 40 watts of light output with only 6 watts of power consumption, 6 to 7. If you get the new Cree bulbs, it's only 6 watts for that. And they put off really good light. I started with Philips bulbs, and I started with Sylvania bulbs, which got cheap, and they were 40 watt output, but I was running compact fluorescence in the very beginning, and it can efficiently push a few of those. It's just your run times are going to be much longer with LED. They won't consume as much power. Excuse me. It's weird. Just had coffee. It's doing things. But, and just to show, let me flip this around and I'll show you right now. Actually, I'm running some stuff. I'm running some stuff on this small array. So I'll show you what I got so far.